What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about draft prospect Shemar Stewart. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of the Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about a draft prospect, Shemar Stewart. Shemar Stewart played his college ball at Texas A&M, and he's been a guy that's being mocked to the Atlanta Falcons as possible, drafting at that number 15 spot in the first round. Shemar Stewart goes about 6'6", 280 to 290 pounds. He is a guy that I consider a tweener, so he's not really an edge rusher. They list him as an edge rusher, but looking at his film, he's a guy that, to me, plays up and down the defensive line. So he's a guy that can play the 3-tech. He's also a guy that can play the defensive end or outside linebacker position. But personally, when I looked at his film, he reminds me of Ruka Rororo, the guy that we drafted last season out of Clemson. So personally, I wouldn't draft Shemar Stewart with this first round pick at number 15. Due to me, we already have a guy that's on this roster that plays similar to his play style. Now, if the Falcons were to draft Shemar Stewart, that tells me that they're looking to move on from guys like Grady Jarrett, David Onyemata. They're starting to look for those replacements for those guys. So maybe they want those guys to be drafted early, like a Shemar Stewart, where he can kind of be groomed under a Grady Jarrett, under a David Onyemata. Now, looking at Shemar Stewart's film, I did like what I saw. He's very powerful, a guy, very athletic for a 3-tech, and for his size, for him to be 6'6" and about 290 pounds, he moves really well. I've seen him making tackles for loss in the backfield and things of that nature. Very disruptive in the backfield and things of that nature in the run game, and did a good job of pressuring the quarterback. He didn't have a ton of sacks in his college career at Texas A&M. He was just one of those guys that got a bunch of pressures. And that's why I say he reminds me a lot of Ruka Rororo, and guys like Brandon Dorless, who we drafted last year, guys that are tweeners, that are not super athletic as far as off the edge, not super fast. And that's the reason why I possibly would stay away from drafting him in the first round. But I did like his film. Like I said, if the Falcons are looking to be a more athletic defense, meaning be very fast in the front seven, and think that we're going to be a defense that's going to play with a lot of leads on offense and be able to allow our defensive line to just pin their ears back, then I definitely think that he would be a good fit. If you pair him with Ruka Rororo and we're playing with a lead, and you can kind of put, guys on that home field, on that fast turf in Atlanta, I really feel like you could play with an undersized defense, similar to what the Rams do. The LA Rams have a light defensive line as well. They don't have a lot of 300+ pound guys on their defensive line. So if we're looking to go that route and be a defense similar to the LA Rams, where we want to have just a ton of speed on the field at all times, then I definitely think that Shemar Stewart could be one of those guys that would be a good pick for the Falcons. But personally, I prefer my defensive tackles and 3-techs and stuff like that to be like 315 pounds or 300+ pounds when you're thinking of having to go up against teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, who like to run the football. When you play a lot of these teams that have a lot of mobile quarterbacks, you want to have a beefy defensive line. So in the inside of the trenches, you want to have bigger guys. To me, we already have too many players on our roster that's similar to a Shemar Stewart, but it's no knock on him. I do think that he's a really good prospect. Like I said, he's very aggressive, very physical, and very athletic for his size. But I really feel like the Falcons have a lot of guys that are similar to him already on the roster. And that's the reason why I would stay away from drafting him in the first round. Now, if somehow he falls to the second round, then I would look at drafting him, because I do think that he's worthy of a second round pick if we've already gotten that edge guy. But I really feel like the Atlanta Falcons need to get a little bit more athletic on the edge. We need guys that can chase down the Lamar Jacksons, the Jalen Hurts, because we have so many scrambling quarterbacks now in the NFL. I feel like we have enough guys that are 280 pounds, between 280 pounds and 300 pounds already on our roster. We don't have enough guys that's in that 240 to 260 range that are more athletic, similar to a Caden Ellis that's currently on our roster, similar to our Arnold Epikady. I really feel like the Falcons need to go more in that direction and try to get guys that are a little bit more athletic, sideline to sideline, to be able to, do multiple things in our defensive scheme. But like I said, Shemar Stewart, I definitely would advise going to check out his film. I checked out his highlights and things of that nature. And when I seen his film, like I stated, he reminded me a lot of Ruka Rororo, who's currently on the roster already. We drafted last year, similar to a Brandon Dorless, but mainly Ruka Rororo because of his power, his relentless effort. He's a guy that's an effort player that's going to make tackles down the field, similar to a Grady Jarrett that's currently on our roster as well. I look at him as like a younger Grady Jarrett as far as his ability to stop the run, his ability to never give up on plays and play with a very hot motor. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on Shemar Stewart. I have a lot more content coming for you guys, but always Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.